Welcome to the Tipsy Exchange, where your hosts get tipsy and exchange ideas on a specific topic.
With a few sidebars and tangents, it all depends on the tipsiness level.
We'll kick off each episode with a toast.
Feel free to join us, but please drink responsibly.
I'm Berly.
I'm LA. Now let's get tipsy.
Hello, LA.
Hey, Berly.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Of course, it's not the New Year quite yet,
Yeah.
but it will be by the time this episode airs.
I wonder what this year will bring.
Who knows?
We're still kind of in a pandemic.
I
A
know.
little bit. I mean, the world's back to normal for the most part, but
Ish.
not for me. I'm not going to parties and, hang
Yeah.
out with a group of people.
I'm not
I
like
don't know
running
if
out
they-
being like, spit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm not dating or anything because I don't want to die.
I don't trust any of you motherfuckers.
I don't. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, speaking of fellas, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are you a Shaniac or a Bergara?
I feel like I want to be a Shaniac, but I think I'm a Bergara.
Same. Like
Yeah.
I'm a Shaniac in the streets,
Yeah.
but a Bergara in the
Yeah.
sheets.
Like if we were to go somewhere that was like haunted or whatever, I'm gonna get spooked out. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I'd feel like the energy,
But also, we have gone to somewhere supposedly haunted.
True, yeah.
I've gone to a few
Well,
places.
and see, exactly. Like I'm like, oh, it's fine, we're fine. But then the second y'all are gonna leave me in the room by myself, I'm like, fuck that, no.
So I went to, I'm blanking on the name of it. The hotel from The Shining.
Oh, the Stanley.
The Stanley Hotel.
Yeah.
And I went on the tour there and I'm listening to the history and I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is cool. And they're like, oh, we want you to go into this room and we're going to shut the door and turn off the lights. And I was like, okay, whatever. This is fucking stupid. Whatever. I'll go. And while I was in there, I was like leaned up against in the corner away from everybody else on the tour group because I didn't want anybody fucking with me or touching me once the lights turned out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went and posted up in this corner. And then they're talking.
Go to the corners. That's where they are. When you're supposed to be smudging, you want to get up in the corners because that's where the demons and the spirits are.
I guess so, because
Yeah.
all of a sudden, while they were singing the little Rosie Posy kid song for some fucking reason, there was a knock behind me. I felt it reverberate on my ass cheek. As soon as the knock happened, I just started swinging my arms out in front of me like a crazy person because I was convinced that somebody had moved over by me and knocked on the wall by my butt cheek.
Yeah.
And I was like, did anybody else hear that? And of course, it's pitch black in this room. So
Yeah.
everybody's just hearing me yell over them. Like, I think I'm a Shaniac.
Yeah.
But then I find myself like swinging my arms around like a crazy person, yelling in the corner, like, who did that? Who did that? In the moment, Bergara all the way.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was panic stricken.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever had a paranormal experience, LA?
I feel like I have, but I can't think of anything. Maybe you?
Well, I mean,
obviously
the Stanley
that,
Hotel,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I totally, after the fact, I totally rationalized it away because one of the walls that I was leaned up against in the corner was actually a door that had been sealed off. And they were saying it was a tunnel. But just because it was sealed off where you couldn't come in and out of that door doesn't mean that they didn't have somebody from the tour group come in and knock behind that door and run away.
Yeah.
So I was a Shaniac after the fact. And then the other paranormal experience I had, God, I think I was in high school. I had sleep paralysis. And for years, I didn't know what sleep paralysis was. And I was totally convinced that I had been attacked by a ghost. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't move. And it felt like something was pressing me down into the mattress. Couldn't move at all.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, and I screamed bloody murder. The nightmare gets worse. So I'm screaming. My dad comes running in, throws open the door. He's butt ass naked and is like, what happened? What's wrong? What's happening? And I'm just sitting there like, nothing. I don't know. Because by this point I can move now. It was just terrified, followed by utter traumatizing experience.
Oh.
And of course, years later, I find out what sleep paralysis is. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I experienced. It wasn't some ghost who came to hold me down for a few seconds after all.
So did you only have it that one time? Or
I
have you
only had it the
before?
one time, and I didn't
Really?
see anything. I know there are people who have like sleep paralysis demons that they see or what have you, which I can imagine having experienced the not being able to move, how seeing something would just be utterly like,
oh my God.
ugh. I mean, I guess I did end up seeing something, but you ready to kick off this week's episode?
I sure am.
Well, today's toast, a quote, is from Mr. Shane Madej on the original Sally House episode of Buzzfeed Unsolved, Supernatural. Rock and roll, buckaroo. Cheers.
Cheers. Now, he was laying down on the pentagram when he said that, right?
If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I watched the original episode.
We're here for the cult stuff.
So in case you guys haven't figured it out, today's topic is BuzzFeed Unsolved, which we actually talked about last season, how we were inspired by Unsolved and started this podcast. And I think it's quite a coinkydink that right around the time our season finale for season 1 aired, their series finale for Unsolved aired.
Oh, yeah.
So we decided to do an ode to our inspiration, an ode to Unsolved. For those of you who don't know, BuzzFeed Unsolved, also known simply as Unsolved, is an American educational documentary entertainment web series created, produced, and hosted by Ryan Bergara and co-hosted by Shane Madej. That's the definition on good old...
I was going to say that is
good old
quite,
wiki.
A description there.
How would you describe Unsolved, LA?
I would describe it as two friends, talking stories. But I do like it because they're both very different, you know?
Right.
So it's the two perspectives and
The skeptic and the believer.
Yeah.
Like a callback to X-Files,
Yeah.
right?
and they're funny, especially Shane.
Yeah.
I like Shane.
They're pretty damn entertaining.
Shane's got a good head of hair on him.
Right?
That's some good thick hair.
I like the stash, too.
Do you?
It's sporadic, but I like it when it makes an appearance.
I think he looks better with facial hair.
I like
Some
facial
sort of
hair, though.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well.
but yeah, it's cute. I like it.
They have concluded the series. Ryan and Shane are moving on. Oh my God, you dribbled all over yourself.
I know. Excuse me, it's my first time drinking.
First, let's talk a little bit more about Unsolved and why it's coming to a conclusion when it's basically in the height of its popularity.
Okay.
So since 2016,
Damn.
Ryan Bergara and Shane Madej have balanced humor with horror as the proudly amateur lead investigators. Whoop.
Whoa, gazers.
Yeah.
I think we're the gazers.
Right? Of BuzzFeed Unsolved, still among the most popular docuseries on the internet. Its standalone YouTube channel, launched in 2018, boasts 4.87 million subscribers.
Nice.
And this is according to an article by Inverse. Inverse.com. After more than 120 episodes in total, the Ghoul Boys are packing it in. True Crime finished streaming its 8th and final season in July, and its companion, Supernatural, concluded its 7th and final season in November 2021. As with any long-running series, be it a popular television show or a scrappy YouTube series, Bergara wanted to avoid spinning wheels. Here's a quote from him. I never liked shows that stayed past their welcome. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that show is still going.
And I keep watching it. And it's
Do you?
I blame my friend Crystal. Crystal, if you're listening, I blame you. I got out of it, man. I got out. Okay. I got out. And then she posted something on social media and I was like, what? Wait, what happened? She's like, oh, you got to watch. You got to catch up. So I started it up again. And now I'm sitting here going like, surely it's going to wrap up and finish any day now. Like, just,
I mean, no, it's still, you're watching it. So.
I'm going to get back out, man. I'm going to get back out.
I got back out before even like McDreamy kicked it.
That's what made
Way
me get
before
back
that.
out, because I totally thought they had their happy ending, right?
Mhm.
So I totally thought, okay, they're gonna wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Like Meredith and Derek are together now. Like how much more is there to go? They're gonna wrap it up soon. Then they killed him off. Then they killed off McDreamy, and that's when I went, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. They're killing him off so that they can have this keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. So I had stopped watching it then.
Yeah. But no, I totally agree with him. There are so many shows that I think you should have just stopped at three seasons. Like you were golden there. Now you're just reaching.
A lot of series are getting better about it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are still those hangers on that it's just like, stop. Like Walking Dead.
Oh, my
whenever
God.
I heard it was finally coming to a conclusion, and then they're like, but no, we're going to do this spinoff. I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ.
But and another one, like, so that one, I think maybe the first 3 or 4 seasons were solid. I think, if I'm thinking
I don't remember
correctly.
exactly what season it was, but I stopped watching when they killed the tiger. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
I
See,
was
I
done
think I
with
stopped
it.
watching. I think I stopped watching a little before that, and then I tried to go back,
That one sucked me back in too.
and I just, no. I was like, this is, no.
It popped up on Netflix like, oh, you should watch this. And I went, oh, okay. That one, I watched that one too.
I mean, I loved that show. I was obsessed.
I cannot tell you what happened in the last episode that I watched, though. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, maybe I take
We
that
were
back.
both
No,
obsessed.
I take that back because
You and I were making plans for the zombie apocalypse, like what we would do,
Yeah.
how we would go to Costco and like take it over. And
yes, still a good plan.
yeah,
And we could protect it because they have guns there.
they have guns, they have water, food,
toilets,
hang off the edge of
Beds.
the roof and just let it go.
We have everything. I think I probably just stopped watching after Andrew Lincoln left because I loved him.
Yeah,
I was obsessed with him there for a little bit.
yeah, I remember.
But yeah, so like I appreciate these ones that come out now, like Ozark, where Jason Bateman said, I think at first he said they were only going to do 3 seasons. That's it. But now he's stopping it at 4, and it's like that's good.
Yeah,
You know, like that's appropriate.
well, back to the Ghoul Boys.
Sorry, sidebar.
So the origins for Unsolved actually stemmed from Bergara's personal interest in the unexplainable, but he disliked other shows he felt tried too hard. The people in those shows usually did not talk like you would with your friends, Madej says. That's why Ryan spoke to being the impetus of the show. I remember seeing that the first episode and being like, I would watch 1,000 episodes of this.
Say that again.
I think I fucked that quote up pretty good. The people in those shows usually did not talk like you would with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Ryan spoke to being the impetus of the show. I remember seeing that first episode and being like, I would watch 1,000 episodes of this.
Oh, well, that could be very narcissistic too, though, with him saying that.
Aren't we all just a little bit narcissistic, though?
True. And I have to say, I agree with him, though, because I hate when it's forced and scripted. It's like if it's 2 friends or 2 people sitting there and it's just so obvious that it's scripted, you know?
Right. Or like a lot of the ghost hunting shows, they have to start doing fake shit to keep it interesting because nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And you don't fall in love with Unsolved because of what's happening. You fall in love with Ryan and Shane, watching how they interact with each other.
Yeah, their rapport is so
Their
good.
rapport, watching how differently they react to the things that are going on around them. The format has remained mostly intact. Each episode of True Crime revolves around Bergara and Madej breaking down the facts and theories around major unsolved cases. And then Supernatural sees Bergara and Madej visiting haunted locales, from former insane asylums to real people's homes that supposedly have paranormal
That had
activity.
to be so much fun.
I mean, we had a blast when we did Jefferson.
Yeah.
And nothing happened and we didn't have equipment or anything like that. But I can say there wasn't ever an episode that I didn't watch. There are certainly episodes that I don't think I would go watch again, but I can't ever remember just like skipping an episode of Unsolved.
Yeah.
But the first ever episode was the Somerton Man, which I knew you were obsessed with.
I love that story. So I didn't know much about it until I started listening to some true crime podcasts. And I think 2 of them, actually, I think Astonishing Legends was where I first might have heard it.
Oh yeah, they did cover that.
But yeah, it's a fascinating story. And it drives me insane that like now with all of our technology that we have today, somebody isn't like Ancestry.com. We found the Golden State Killer. We can't find out who the Somerton Man is if we dig him up.
What's the Golden State Killer?
You don't know that? Berly. Are you kidding? That's a joke. No? Ugh, I'm ashamed of you. Not really. The Golden State Killer? He like
What's the Golden State?
California.
Oh, I think I did know that.
He would go and break into these people's houses in the 60s, 70s, I think.
Night Stalker?
Kind of the same, yeah. He was the original Night Stalker, I think what they call it. He has a couple different names. But the weirdest thing to me is he would go in there, he'd like flash the flashlight at the couple in their bed. He would make the guy get on the floor. He'd go to the kitchen, grab a stack of plates, go and put them on the husband and say, if I hear these move or break, your wife is dead. Take her in the other room, rape her, and then just take off. And then, of course, he graduated to killing people. But it was,
yeah, you would think so.
It was I can't.
How did they find him with Ancestry.com?
So for years, like they got the idea that he very much obviously knew something about the forensics of things and how he was smart enough to not leave fingerprints and things like that. But it turned out he was an ex-cop, and that's why. But yeah, he's probably his late 70s, 80s now. And they had some sort of DNA from him. I'm guessing semen. I don't know. But somebody in his family had gone on Ancestry.com, and I guess they just tried to make a match, and it was like his niece or cousin or something. And that's how they found him. Through that.
Can you imagine like being like, hey, so it turns out that grandpa
whoopsie
used to
good job.
This,
Put grandpa in jail.
We might all want to go get in some therapy.
Yeah. But that's my point. If we can do that, I would think there has to be some sort of match to him somewhere out there. You know? And that kid that was probably most likely his son.
His cauliflower ears or whatever it is.
Oh my God. Anyway. That story's crazy to me.
But I know,
and then
I know
the little thing torn out of the book that was in his, and like he has no labels on anything. It's crazy.
But anyway, LA was hooked from the very first episode.
Needless to say.
The top 3 true crime episodes, according to IMDb, and I don't think this included the latest season, were The Thrilling Gardner Museum Heist, which I actually don't remember that one.
Me either.
But the other 2 I do remember. The Treacherous Treasure Hunt of Forrest Fenn, which was a lot of fun, which I can't believe.
Another story I love.
That's a really cool story. And also the Forrest Fenn treasure was found in 2020.
Yes. But it was after he died.
It was after he passed away.
Yeah.
So actually, I think it was found before he passed away because he was the one who
confirmed it.
Like did interviews and confirmed it, but he passed away like shortly after.
Oh, okay.
Like he passed away in 2020. It was found in 2020 and he passed away in 2020.
For somebody to find it. I wonder what it was.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen that movie Fool's Gold? Fool's Gold?
What?
Fool's Gold. You seen that movie Fool's Gold?
Is that with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, and Kate Hudson.
I know what movie you're talking about,
It's
but
like
I don't think I ever saw it.
Such a cheesy movie, but I love it.
You were obsessed with those Matthew McConaughey rom-coms, though. Ghost of
was
Girlfriend's
for a while.
Past.
Oh my God, I loved that one too.
I know. You were obsessed with those Matthew McConaughey rom-coms for a little
what
bit.
Can I say? I love my Texas boys.
It's all right.
It is all right.
The third most popular episode is The Strange Disappearance of D.B. Cooper. Which was another really good one. And that was a fun little tie-in in Loki that like Loki is D.B. Cooper. When I saw that in the trailer, I was convinced that the show was going to be all about Loki going back in time to all these different things that are unexplained in history.
Well, I wish it had been that because I was disappointed in it. That would have been a lot better.
But I thought it was going to be stuff like that. Like, oh, he's D.B. Cooper. Oh, he's this person.
Yes,
that's what I thought it was going to be. And I was like, but what's the point? How is that going to move the storyline forward? So it is what it is. Do you have any personal favorites from the true crime series?
Obviously the Somerton Man was, one of my favorites, even though it was the first one.
Right? Very first episode.
There was one, I forget the name of the guy. I'd have to look it up, but it reminded me of D.B. Cooper. He was I think this must have been the 40s or 50s, and he was like super rich. I think he was in politics, and him and his wife they had this plane they chartered, and it was a small crew. Like the reports of what supposedly happened were it was a soundproof plane because he wanted to be able to speak, and so his stenographer could hear him and do his thing. But yeah, so supposedly he stands up, like pulls his tie off and is like grabbing at his collar away from him, and like he couldn't breathe. And so he goes and opens the fucking door to the outside and gets sucked out.
Sucked out, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's all these conspiracies that he was poisoned. Somebody in the crew poisoned him, or his wife, because she was on the plane too. And nobody else got sucked out. It was just him. And then they were like, well, maybe he just got the door wrong and he was trying to go to the bathroom.
What?
It's like, Well, and then one of the guys that investigated it, which kudos to this journalist, and they even say that he had a plane go up, the same kind of plane, and tried to open the door mid-flight to see if he could do it, and he couldn't even do it.
So the guy like was super strong.
Yeah, well, who knows? Anyway, I feel like it's Feinstein or something like that.
Let me Google it.
Yeah. But that was pretty interesting, and it kind of reminded me of D.B. Cooper just because he fell out of the plane. Oh, and the two pilots, they circled back and didn't tell air traffic control any of their coordinates. They didn't radio to them that they weren't going to land at the airport. They went back to like this island thing, I think, and tried to see if he was there and landed there.
Alfred Lowenstein.
Yes. Yeah. And like I think they found his watch and a couple of other items. So the bizarre death of Alfred Lowenstein. Yeah, that's a good one. I liked it. Oh, and then this one was surprising to me that they did it, but they covered Princess Diana's death. I had forgotten some things that went on around then, and that like people accused the royal family of being involved, and that they were racist of her boyfriend. And
the royal family is racist? What?
I have never heard this. Anyway. But you know, the boys were really sweet about her, and at one point
they seem like they're really sweet in person.
Yeah,
like they both are really supportive boyfriends, and it's just
I know. I saw on Instagram Ryan proposed to his girlfriend. It was so cute,
so adorable.
But yeah, so they're talking about her battle with bulimia and whatnot, and they said what stemmed from it was one time at an event, Charles put his arm around her waist and said something like, "Oh, a bit chubby there, huh?" And like that's kind of what started her bulimia. And when I think it was Ryan like saying this, and like the screen faded to the black, and Shane was like, "Oh no, no." They're both like, "Yeah, no, you don't say that, never." But I think that was the only time where it went black that I was like, that was kind of perfect. Just their reaction to him saying that, it's like, no, if you're a true gentleman, you never say that. No. But it was cute.
Or if you're just a human being who understands like
people's feelings.
People that have feelings.
Yeah.
And we aren't all sociopaths. You don't walk around doing that shit. Well, Supernatural, according to IMDb, these were the 3 most popular episodes on Supernatural. The first one is The Haunting of Hannah Williams, which was actually one of their coworkers at BuzzFeed.
What?
Who had like some hauntings going on in her home. And so they actually went to her home to investigate.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty creepy. Doesn't have as much history and things like that as some of the other places that they've been. But it was a good episode. The next episode is the demonic Goatman's Bridge, which I was surprised is so popular.
We know a good goat demon.
We know a good goat demon. Well, Goatman Bridge is in our area. It's up in Denton, Texas.
That's right. Yeah. We should go there.
Which nothing happened there, really. It was just a lot of them playing Ouija board. And it was the first time that Ryan Bergara had the water gun with the holy water in it. And had the...
Oh my God, I remember that.
had the holster with it and all of that.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be prepared.
There was a lot of Shane jumping around being like, fuck you, Goatman, and stuff like that. It was entertaining. I'm just surprised it's in the top 3.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I feel like they were like giving each other shit a lot in that episode.
They were.
Yeah.
It was a lot of just like the Ryan and Shane show. It wasn't so much about the bridge. And then the third one, I agree. It was the haunted halls of Waverly Hills Hospital, which was really spooky. This was a former TB ward where they had the body shoot because they were disposing of so many bodies. And there's a scene where they try to play with a little boy ghost with a blue ball. And if you like kind of scary, but not so scary that you're going to have nightmares things, you should definitely check out that one. And then some of the ones that are just my personal favorites was the haunted quarters of the Dauphine Orleans Hotel when they went to New Orleans. We really love New Orleans. Obsessed. We'd go there every fucking weekend, except not in the summer. Jesus Christ. True. Never again.
I mean, I might go, but just be doing a lot of indoor activities.
I don't know, man. Even when we were inside, y'all, it was so hot. We went there July one year. It was so hot.
Like, we live in Texas.
Right. Like it's not like we aren't used to hot.
Yeah.
It's not like we aren't even not used to a little bit of humidity.
Yeah.
But oh my God, we went on a walking tour and my dumb ass wore jeans. I was convinced I'm going to get a yeast infection.
It was on another level.
I got so hot. I was drenched.
Oh, we all were. Yeah. Well, and they said, I think it was you that talked to somebody, and they basically said like almost every afternoon, like it will sprinkle and rain a little bit, and then afterwards
scorch
sizzles.
and just sizzles afterwards. Yeah, there was a local person who told us that.
Yeah,
that they said this basically happened.
And they were lying.
No, it happened every day we were there.
Yeah, and you and Carly being
what are you doing?
Sorry, you and Carly being, you know, gingers and fair skinned. I felt so bad.
I don't know if you remember, but I totally went American Horror Story Coven with it.
Yes, yeah.
I bought an umbrella.
I know. You two were like behind us. We were walking around and you two were behind us. And I think Kurt and I were both like, God, they're back there like just ragging on us. They're so pissed right now. And it's like, we can't help that you're fair skinned.
I bought a black umbrella.
I'm pretty fair skinned
because you guys don't get it. It didn't matter that I put fucking sunscreen on. It was sweated off of me within 30 minutes of being outside. So I seriously was walking around New Orleans with my sunglasses and a visor and a black umbrella.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a shit. I was just like,
you shouldn't.
Move.
Yeah.
Move. Have an umbrella.
I feel like next time we should take like a bike. Can we bike around? Is there are there
golf carts? Should we get a golf cart? Jefferson had a golf cart.
I know.
Surely New Orleans has a golf cart.
That would be perfect.
But anyway,
but we still had a good time despite being sweating our asses off.
Yes, and I love that episode of New Orleans is already nostalgic to me, but it was also just a really interesting story. They actually caught some pretty evident footsteps going on, and Ryan got up and checked and there was nothing out there. And then my other personal favorite is actually one of the first episodes for Supernatural, which was the 3 horrifying cases of ghosts and demons. Oh. And that's when they went to the Winchester house for the first time. And that island of the dolls. Nothing particularly spooky, but oh my God, I would not ever want to be there. All the spiders and dolls and everything everywhere.
What were we watching? The spider crawled on him. Oh, the Lord of the Rings and the creatures behind them.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Bugs start crawling on him. And I was like, I'd say, take it. Take it.
Take the fucking ring. Just take the fucking ring.
Take it. I'm not going to have these things crawling on me.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
And it was the first time they went to Sally House as well. It was all within that first episode. But if the show's so popular and it's doing so well, why are they ending it? Well, along with their friend Stephen Lim, Ryan and Shane quit Buzzfeed in 2019 and founded LA-based Watcher Entertainment, with the trio looking to get full creative control and ownership of their videos.
Yeah.
While they have left Buzzfeed as full-time employees, the 3 of them had contracts with Buzzfeed to continue working on Worth It, which I've never seen, and Unsolved alongside the launch of Watcher Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
So
they signed contracts at BuzzFeed, or not just
I guess that like
I bet they
quit,
did after the show.
Yeah, they quit in 2019.
Not like their normal employees.
Right. Yeah. Just finish. Just give us a season finale.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. But that just, I was telling you that when we were watching the series finale, how I had never realized that like Ryan did not have creative control completely over Unsolved at a certain point, I'm sure. And one of the things he says is how intellectual property is like everything these days. So he doesn't even own that brand, even though he basically created it.
Yeah.
So
he just did that content all for BuzzFeed.
Right? Cannot blame them for deciding to move on.
I mean, I think that would be the natural
thing.
progression if you ever want to grow.
One would hope.
Yeah.
It would be so scary, though, to take that, because I am not a risk taker. I
am not either. And I read all these stories where somebody's like, I just quit my job and then I found my passion and now I'm doing this and making money. And I'm like, I mean,
good for you.
I would love to be able to do that, but
how many people have tried to do that and not
don't
made
like
it?
being behind on my bills. Like,
right?
I like to be on time and not late.
Oh my God. Like when I graduated high school, I was like, I'm going to run away to Los Angeles and be a dancer and an actress and I'll make it. And I was like, no, never mind. I'm going to go to college and get a job instead because I don't want to live out in my car and serve tables. Not knocking people who do that.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have a strength and bravery that I just don't have.
Yeah.
To do something. I am not a risk taker.
Like I say kudos to them.
Right.
You know? Or the people that are like living in their van, like traveling the country.
Yeah, which is why we're doing today's episode. Like we're excited for them. They have no fucking idea who we are, but they literally inspired us to start this show. And it's super fucking exciting that they're doing this. So
yeah. And I mean, I'm happy for them to be able to get out from under BuzzFeed's thumb, you know?
Right. Be able to make the content they want to make and all that other kind of stuff. So Bergara said, I wanted to move on to other creative opportunities that I wasn't going to be afforded at BuzzFeed. They also said we wanted actual ownership of the content we make. Like I said earlier, intellectual property is pretty much everything right now. So they already have some shows on Watcher Entertainment that are pretty fucking cute. In fact, I don't know if you remember this, LA, after we decided we were going to do this and we had like started our first topic and I think we had even recorded our first episode, Batman 1989.
Yeah.
And we're getting everything ready to go. That's when Watcher Entertainment launched Too Many Spirits. And we
God, yes. I was like, when we were talking about their rapport and everything, I was gonna say like one of my favorite things was watching that and them getting drunk together because like I feel like that's where it shows like their really true friendship when they got a little loose and everything. But
when they got that show, I was pissed at first.
True, yeah, because that was what we were gonna do.
I was like, that's our idea, basically. Holy shit! And luckily, it's not at all the same idea.
Yeah.
But when I saw the advertisement, I was 100% convinced, like, it's going to look like we're copying them and not just kind of inspired by, and motherfucker, and the title of their show is cuter than ours. We have to come up with a different name. Really, and it's such a cute name. Yeah. It's so cute.
I didn't like the...
I don't even remember what our original podcast name was anymore. It was something else.
Always this.
No, it was something else.
No.
My sister came up with the new name after I was complaining about Too Many Spirits.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't even remember what it was.
I should ask her. Maybe she'll remember.
I don't think it was memorable. I think that was the problem. It wasn't cute and it wasn't whatever. And we have this cute new name now. Yeah. Now our name is cute too.
Take that.
So we're perfectly aware this was basically an advertisement
for sure it was.
For Unsolved and Watcher Entertainment. But
what did I just say? We've enjoyed it?
We have enjoyed it.
We've enjoyed it.
We've really enjoyed it. They seriously inspired us to do this show because they just looked like they were having so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
And we've had a blast doing the podcast and we're really excited to be back for season 2.
Yes.
So
tell your friends.
Tell your friends to watch.
If you like us.
Watcher Entertainment. Tell your friends to tune in.
You're talking about Watcher. I'm like, listen to us.
Tune in to Tipsy Exchange. We're back for season 2. And we look forward to revisiting with you guys in a couple of weeks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Tipsy Exchange.
Want to hear more? Please leave a review, then visit thetipsyexchange.com to sign up for emails.
You can also follow us on your preferred listening apps, as well as Twitter or Instagram.
Until next time,
cheers.